Hello and welcome to video 3 from Introduction to Linux, the EC unit that you guys are looking at. This is dealing with Netacad Linux Essentials chapters 5 and 6, command line skills, and then getting help. Now before we get into that, let's have a look at where we were with our Debian setup that we did previously. Click Start, let's run this VM, load it up. There's my user account. Pop the password in, sign in, there we go. Here's our screen. I suppose you could say at the moment there's not much on it. So here, if we do want to see what we have, we've got the shutdown options, we've got settings here. So click on there, so we can see what we can see inside the settings. And there we can deal with various bits and pieces. Of course, I won't go through all of these items now, but I wouldn't have a problem if you wanted to spend some time clicking through this yourself. So you can see what's happening inside there. For now, I think what I'll do, I'll just close that down. So do feel free to have a click on settings and just mess about, just click around, see what you can find. What we'll do is I'll click on activities, we'll see what happens, and we click there. So essentially, we've got some things here, such as Firefox, that's already been installed as part of the Debian 10.6 installation, Evolution, Rhythmbox, LibreOffice Writer. Again, I'll let you have a look through those various bits and pieces. I think what I'll do is I'll just type terminal into the search box there, and I'll click terminal, and that will actually allow us to bring up our terminal, and then to there we can input commands. Of course, first thing it's saying here is software updates are available. Fair enough. Not now. View. What happens when I click on view? Requires restart, and update. Yeah, I should probably run these updates, and then we can come back and carry on with having a look at using Debian and command line. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to click restart and update. Authentication is required. It's okay. Pop the password in. Authenticate. Restart and install. Yeah, I'll just run this and we'll get back to you in a little while. So that's the update done, and I can log in again, which I will do, and then we can crack on. So, push that up, click there, password in, sign in. So, here we go. There we have our prompt, and here we have our information that we are dealing with. So, chapters 5 and 6, command line skills, getting help. Now, open up terminal, we've just done that, and type in your commands. So what happens is you've got this terminal, and that allows you to input commands into something which is called the shell. What that does is it takes the commands that you type in and turns them into actions that the operating system can actually do. So the whole idea about what you're dealing with in terms of how you input your command, we've got the command line. The command line, as you can see here, is made out of 3 elements. The first bit is your username. In this example, it's sysadmin. The next bit is your system name, which is the computer name. This particular one's called localhost, and then the current directory, that would be the home directory for the user that's currently logged in, represented by something called the tilde, which I'll tell you about in 1 second. Now, from that perspective, if we go onto our Debian machine, as you can see there, the user is actually me, Robert. That's my user account. The system name is actually Debian because that's what we named it. But again, we've got this little bit here, this thing which is called a tilde, which represents the user's home directory. Now, here's what I mean by that. The current directory here is represented by the tilde, the funny little squiggle, okay? And the home directory is /home / then the username. Now, we'll be talking about directory structures in due course. But of course, the thing that I want you guys to recognize is if that is home sysadmin, this here would be home Robert because it's my user account. Now, the first command you learn, it seems, is the ls or list command. And what that does is it lists files and directories contained in the current working directory. And of course, the current working directory at the moment, as you can see, is the home directory for the sysadmin user in this example, or my home directory here. So what happens if we type in ls for list? It lists the directories that are inside where we are, and since where we are is in my home directory, those must be the folders that are found inside my home directory. And then of course it says here we can add arguments to add functionality to the commands. Now, an argument isn't like when you have a row. It's not that kind of an argument. It's just a term that means you can put additional information on the end of the command in order to do different things with the command. For example, there we've got a listing of the contents of a specific directory by putting in a path. Now, options can also be added to commands. There's ls-l, it gives us a long listing. Can you see you've got the same information on the screen, but there's more information there and it's basically in a different kind of a look, but nonetheless it's the same subdirectories underneath the user's home directory. But again, ls-l, that's something that you'll probably end up using quite a lot actually. That's quite a good one to know. Now, there's something here which is the history command. Now, again, certain things in Linux are useful, certain things may be less so. I mean, ls-l. Yeah, honestly, I quite like that one. If you want to see what that means, by the way, please just have a look through the Netacad notes and the content there. That's what all that information is there for. I don't want to talk about all that right now. Take too much time. But nonetheless, if I type in history, can you see that what will happen? Oh, spell it right, it'll help. It tells us the commands that have been typed in already. And here, of course, we have a slightly different example. There they've put in the date command, which ironically tells us what the date is. And that's what today is. So that's the date command. Cal is calendar. That means the 5th month in the year 2030, which is going to be May 2030. Again, all that kind of stuff. Various bits and pieces you can have a play around with if you would like. Now, something else that comes up, something slightly different in terms of inputting information and commands. There's a variable command. Because you see that a lot in programming. It's a way to give values of something to something. And then of course the echo command also displays information on the screen. We use the $sign to actually put in the right kind of syntax for the commands to make that work. But again, try all these commands because it's good for you to see what's going on with them. Variables, different sorts of variables. The previous one was a local variable, I guess they call it, which is to do with something that you would be dealing with, a specific program or a situation that you might be writing or building. A global variable is more to do with what goes on inside the operating system. So there's a variable there with a value of 1000, which is the number of commands that history would remember. It's called the history size, and you can change that there. And of course, changing the value of a variable, that one is a particular number. You can see that's what's happened there. Again, it's just being able to change values to settings either that you create or that the operating system has. But again, it's just a good thing for you guys to see. Type tells you what type of command a command is. Shell built in means that it's part of the operating system itself. Yeah, I don't tend to use that command much myself, but it's a good one to see. Type it in, see what you think. Use of quotes. Now, this gets kind of interesting because it's a way of displaying things or information in a particular way. And here's two examples. Because a question mark and an asterisk are actually commands in their own right inside Linux, if we put it in quotes, it takes the command functionality out of there and it just writes down what is on the screen, literally, by quoting it. Something slightly different here, we've got a command, which is the command path. So it's going to tell you the path is, and there's the text, and then there's, of course, the information that's built into that particular command with the $sign in front of it. That's what helps make that syntax happen. But again, things for you to see, things for you to try. Single quotes. Okay, there you go. I'm pretty sure you can see what's going on here. Again, $1 would be interpreted as a command. Get rid of that happening. Again, different quotes, different function. And then back quotes as well. Back quotes are the key that are underneath the escape key and to the left of the number 1 key on the top left hand of your keyboard if you've not seen it. There's the date command. Oh, there's writing today's date and there's writing, you see, but no $, which is why you need the different quotes. But nonetheless, there you go. All sorts of things for you guys to get used to inside Chapter 5. Chapter 6, getting help. Okay, man, short for manual. What's the help situation for the ls command? And of course what it does is it actually brings up quite a lot of information. So the help file is actually genuinely useful. So here's all these options listed here. And as you go through the information, you'll see that there's quite a few. There's quite a lot of information there. Oh, okay, yeah. There you go. Q to quit. Takes us back to there. So nonetheless, there's the help file. And there's other bits and pieces as well, such as what is, and then where is, it tells you where certain files, like the list command in itself, would be found inside the operating system directory structure. And as you can see, things do get pretty complicated, but nonetheless, I'm sure that you guys will get used to it over time. --help, yeah, try --help, see what that does, and yeah, okay, I think we're alright. I think that's us for now, and I'll get started on the next video pretty much straight away. So hope you've enjoyed having a look through this one. Let's get the next one going. I'll get that to you pretty soon. Right, cheers, thanks.